Let's tackle the first topic of UGC Net. And I've divided teaching aptitude into three core mini topics. First is teaching basics and concepts. Under this, we have the concept of teaching, teaching theories, and key term related to teaching, from which you'll have to learn about key terms like what is pedagogy or the teaching pyramid, which is super duper important, Bloom's classification of teaching and instructional objective, and Gagner's and Briggs' classification of teaching and instructional objectives. Next, we have objective of teaching, from which we have effective teaching practices, teaching methods, and learner centered teaching. This entire mini topic is super duper important, from which you can expect maxims of teaching, micro teaching, differences between teaching and learning, teacher centered methods, and student centered methods. And finally, the third mini topic is learning. Under learning, we have the learning characteristics, learning environment, types of learners, adolescent and adult learners, evaluation, higher education in India, and instructional facilities, from which you need to learn things like learner characteristics, learner's response to learning, evaluation system, types of evaluation, levels of Dale's cones of experience, types of instructional facilities. So you do not have a lot of definitions as such to remember, but NTA does ask tricky questions centered around theories and key concepts. So, what this playlist will contain are all the important topics that have frequently appeared in the past year's paper and things that I need to teach the concept about. Small definition and notes that do not require a lot of understanding and are easy to remember will all be there in notes. So let's come to the first topic, concept of teaching, and under that, Morris L. Bick's classification of teaching or the teaching pyramid. So he has divided this into three subtopics. First is the memory level of teaching. So under memory level of teaching, we have things like facts, figures, and just to give you a small analogy, when as a kid you first learn ABCD, you're asked to mug this up, right? You need to know ABCD in order to form sentences. So that's basically your first level of learning. Only if you know certain facts and figures, then you can understand few concepts. Next is understanding level of teaching. Understanding level of teaching is one higher than memory level of teaching, where you're able to differentiate between different examples, whether this is a positive one or a negative one, why is this different than the other one. You're able to form certain level of concepts. Then finally comes the reflective level of teaching, where in reflective level of teaching you can evaluate, synthesize, understand, and reflect on what you've actually learned. So let's go a bit deeper into this. First is memory level of teaching. As you know, you will not be asked what is memory level of teaching, right? So questions under this will be scenario based and you'll have to figure out whether it's memory level of teaching or not. So how you can do this is by memorizing the key concepts, which is the core concepts are factual knowledge, teacher centered, rote memory, and testing recall. The memory level of teaching is a foundational phase in teaching learning process that focuses on helping students acquire, very important, retain and recall factual information. So whenever any question has anything related with these key terms, then you should know that it's related to memory level of teaching. Role of a teacher in memory level of teaching is it's the core content provider, clearly presents information in organized and systematic manner. This includes defining terms, explaining basic concepts, and demonstrating procedure. Okay, so now let's move on to understanding level of teaching. Under understanding level of teaching, it goes beyond rote memorization and focuses on helping students comprehend the meaning. Okay, these are key terms that are very important and you should be remembering, and significance of the information that they are learning. This level emphasizes the development of students' ability to interpret, explain, compare, and apply knowledge. So, what are the core concepts? Consolidating conceptual learning. Teacher is a guide. So, in memory, teacher was the content provider, facilitator memory. Here, teacher is just a guide. Students are now able to differentiate between examples, Under reflective style of teaching, and this is the highest in the hierarchy, it involves critical thinking, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So, whenever these key terms are used, you should know that it's reflective level of teaching. Sometimes, most often than not, we do get confused between reflective level of teaching and understanding level of teaching, and sometimes the definition can get a little vague. So the more number of past years paper and mcqs you do, the better your understanding will form. But to summarize it for you, reflective level of teaching is more towards synthesis, analysis, evaluation, and understanding is more about differentiating different examples, being able to figure out what is right, what is wrong. Okay, so, the core components under reflective level of teaching is critical thinking. It's student centric, it's completely student centric, and role of a teacher is just a guide and a facilitator. All right, now let's try to solve some of the questions that had appeared in the past year's paper for the teaching pyramid. I'm reading the question. You can try to answer as well, and we'll see whether we are correct or not. Identify those features of learner behavior which are associated with understanding level of teaching. The student renders facts and information in his or own words. That's understanding level of teaching. The student immediately recalls the fact taught, memory level of teaching. The student gives his or own example in order to explain a point. Again, understanding level of teaching. I said any examples, that would be understanding level of teaching. The student interprets the meaning in various ways. Again, understanding level of teaching, one level more than the rote memorization. The student correctly reproduces the sequence taught. That's memory level of teaching. So our answer is 1, 3, and 4. So option D looks like correct. Since we are correct, let's do perfect. This should be an easy answer. Which of the following is not a prescribed level of teaching? It had come in December 2014. Memory, understanding, reflective, and differentiation. We've studied memory, understanding, and reflective, so it's definitely differentiation. Perfect. All right, now let's check out this question that had come in 2020. In which level of teaching the learner gets an opportunity to discriminate at length between positive and negative examples of concept? So basically, examples, which is understanding level of teaching. But let's say you got confused and then you did reflective level of teaching instead. So what I've done is I've added why you are incorrect, requires higher order thinking such as analysis, evaluation, and synthesis, and also shows the correct answer, which is understanding level of teaching. So because I was incorrect, I'm gonna do forgot. So it's gonna reappear. But now I know the correct answer is understanding. So I'm gonna do submit and then I'm gonna do perfect. Alright, so another question, and I want you to try this as well. In which level of teaching the main focus is laid on capturing and systematic presentation of ideas and information? Easy, right? It's memory level of teaching. Correct. Focus is primarily on acquisition and retention of information. Perfect. All right. This can be a bit tricky and it had come in 2022 paper. The non-directive model of teaching nurtures students rather than controlling the sequence of word. NTA loves playing around with words. Non-directive basically means that teacher is just acting as a facilitator rather than directly providing the knowledge. So it's understanding and reflective level of teaching. So in reflective and understanding level of teaching, does the teacher nurture student rather than controlling the sequence of learning? Yes. Again, in the non-directive model of teaching, the teacher's role is that of a facilitator who has counseling relationship with students and who guides their growth and development. Correct. So both statements are correct. Submit. Perfect. It also explains. So we were perfect. Let's do. Finished. We've completed all our MCQs. Yay.